Did you ever turn on the hot water at the kitchen sink and it runs lukewarm or maybe even cold for 30 seconds? Seems like 10 minutes. Actually, it's because of the fact that the water heater is located on the other side of the house near the bathroom. We're going to show you how much water you're wasting. Studies show that in the average house, there are approximately 2.5 gallons of water that's in the line that's got to be pushed out before you ever get hot water. And that is a big waste. We've got a solution though. We've got an under-the-sink water heater that will give you hot water on demand. And it is something that you can install yourself. Now the first thing we have to do is to cut off the hot water line to the dishwasher. It's this one right here. And then the one to the sink, which is this one right here. Now we need to use a wrench to disconnect the hose that's coming to the sink. Now, as soon as we get this unhooked, we'll be able to go up on the countertop and put all of our fittings together. Now I'm wrapping the Teflon tape around the threads here. It's a good idea anytime that you're going to be using threaded connections. Once that's done, we're going to take this fitting over here. I'm going to put it on here by hand. This over here with the red collar is hot water. That's a good indication right there. Also, it says hot water right there. This is where the hot water will come out going to the sink and also to the dishwasher. We'll turn it down by hand and then take a wrench and get it snugged down real good. Now once we get it snugged down real good and tight, we're going to be ready for the next set of fittings to go on. Now it's time to put our fittings onto the T. Now this fitting goes on this end and it's going to carry the hot water up to the kitchen sink. I'll just put it on first by hand, then later we'll take a wrench to it. This next fitting is a little bit different in that it's the same except it's got a fitting of its own on there. We'll take that apart and let me show you what the fitting is. This is called a compression fitting. The copper tubing that goes to the dishwasher goes in there. You then fit this ring that's inside there onto the copper tube, and then you put the copper tube into this fitting, and when you tighten this nut down, it's going to end up compressing the ring. That's going to give you a real good seal, so you're not going to have any leaks. We'll put this on by hand, and then we'll take a wrench and tighten it up too. Now we're going to use our adjustable wrench to snug this up real good and tight so that we don't have any leaks. Now we're going to be using these metal sheathed anti-burst hoses, and this one is going to take the water supply up to the kitchen faucet. We'll put it on hand tight and then we'll come back with a wrench and tighten it again. One of the nice things about this project is that we're able to do a whole lot of stuff up here on the countertop, and that means we don't have to spend a lot of time that's down underneath the sink in cramped quarters. Now this next hose here is going to bring the water in to our water heater here. We'll put it on hand tight. And you know, having all these threaded fittings really are great. First of all, it means that we don't have to do anything exotic like doing sweat soldering or flaring joints or anything like that. And it really makes the entire project go a lot quicker. We have our water heater in under the sink here now. I get to lie down on the job for a little while. You remember this T up here? You remember we've got a hose coming off of here that goes to our kitchen faucet. What we need to do then is to connect this to the hose that we originally took off that went to the kitchen faucet. And all we need to do is to get this connection on here hand tight, and we'll come back with a wrench and do the rest of it. There's one other hose that we have to hook up, and that's this one over here. This is the water supply line. And if you'll remember, it's got to hook up to this stop valve over here. Here again, we just need to get it hand tight. Now we're ready to address the copper tubing over here and cut it off and get it hooked up. Now we're going to be able to use the copper tubing that originally connected to the dishwasher. We do have to bend it around just a little bit, and anytime you're going to be bending copper tubing, you want to make sure that you don't kink it. You remember the compression fitting we had over here? Well, now we're going to put it to good use. Going to take the nut and the ferrule off, feed the nut down here like so. Then we take the little ferrule and put it on there, slide it down. Now we take the copper tubing Stick it into the opening there all the way, move the nut up and start tightening it by hand. Now we just need to take our wrench and tighten it down. Now we need to cut the water back on. We'll do that. And then there's the matter of the electrical. There isn't any. We just plug it in. And in no time at all, you'll have hot water. Well, we should have some hot water by now. Ooh, man, that's good and hot. You know, our unit cost us about 120 bucks. They didn't furnish all the hoses and fittings. That cost us another 30 bucks, but we did get it installed by ourselves. Now, we're going to have hot water instantly, right here at the sink, also at the dishwasher, and we can stop wasting water. If you have questions, why don't you contact us on the internet? It's michaelholigan.com.